Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making the headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin from the First News newspaper. The major story here says, finally, Egypt opens borders for Nigerians fleeing Sudan. Finally, Egypt opens borders for Nigerians fleeing Sudan. This is coming after Buhari's intervention. Egypt agrees to open borders under stringent conditions, NIDCOM boss. Those are some of the writers for that story. You find all the details on the front page of the First News newspaper. To the Daily Sun now, Sudan, Egypt opens border for fleeing Nigeria students. Buhari engages President Sisi. All the details on the front page of the Daily Sun. To the Punch newspaper, Tinubu promises tough decisions. NLC demands new retirement age. Labour recommends 65 years retirement age, 40 years length of service. Another writer here says President-elect seeks understanding, says hard decisions coming soon. All the details on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And to the Daily Trust. I'll give you living wage, Tinubu promises workers. Respect their rights, Buhari tells President-elect. Labour demands better deals. Another writer here says, Khan, that's the Christian Association of Nigeria, haps on decent working conditions. Resist anti-democratic forces, PDP tells workers. Mike.
All right, I have the leadership news here. And he says, amid dwindling revenues, Tinubu raises workers' hope for living wage. All right, that's what he says, and had some multiple writers here saying that, says, your fight will be my fight. We don't want broken promises, and federal government states may not pay salaries from June, Obaseki warns. All right, that's in Edo State. You can't speak for government, Labour tells Edo governor. Okay, that's what the reply there is. That's what you see on the front page of the leadership newspaper. Tinubu raises workers' hope for living wage. From there, let's go to the Nation newspaper. Nation says pay rise coming for health workers, lecturers, and others. Okay, pay rise coming for health workers, lecturers, others. Funding captured in this year's budget, says the federal government. And President-elect promises living wage. Okay. That's what the Nation newspaper has, okay? And then let's go to Nigerian News Direct. Workers' Day. Elected officials make promises. Workers' unions kick in lamentations, okay? From the Workers' Day, which was yesterday, elected officials make promises. Workers' unions kick in lamentations. Your fight will be my fight. I'm always fight for you. That's Tinubu, the president-elect, is saying this. Promises a living wage. It says the workers will have more than minimum wage for decent life, provide for families. University workers, doctors threaten industrial action. Okay, all this on the front page of the News Direct. From there, let's go to Vanguard. And it's talking about the May Day, halt last-minute looting, Labour tasks Buhari. Halt last-minute looting, Labour tasks Buhari. That's what the message from the Labour Union on Workers' Day. This Nigeria is next and is talking about National Assembly leadership. Northern senators plot against Akpabio, Kalu, right? National Assembly leadership, that's the focus. Northern senators plot against Akpabio and Kalu. Ask Tinubu to resolve same-fate ticket balancing with appointments. Ask Tinubu to resolve the same-fate ticket balancing with appointments. Okay, that's what this Nigeria has. This day is the next one we're going now, not the last one yet. This day newspaper says, Ganduje to Kwankwaso, God will not allow anybody destroy our new Kano Emirates. God will not allow anyone destroy our new Kano Emirates. All right. Governor Ganduje was responding to statements made by Rabi Musa Kwankwaso on the issue of the Kano Emirates. Recall that the Emir of Kano was dethroned at a time under Ganduje. And Kwankwaso and the new governor were looking at the possibility of reviewing that. And in fact, the statement was made that it will be reviewed. So this is the response from Ganduje, that God will not allow anybody destroy our new Kano Emirate. He said that the Emirates have come to stay. All right, the last one we're looking at now is Business Day. Business Day says firms' first quarter earnings take hit from Naira Crunch elections, Firms' first quarter earnings take hit from Naira Crunch and elections. Dangote, UACN, 4 others suffer 69 billion Naira revenue drop. That's a lot. All right, that's Business Day, and the last one we're looking at now. Veronica?
All right, gentlemen, let's look at the statement coming from the president-elect. Yesterday was May Day, Workers' Day, and statements have been coming from various persons, including the president-elect. And I just want to read some excerpts of what he said. He said that in Nigeria, I shall have the honor and privilege to lead from May the 29th. Workers will have more than a minimum wage. You will have a living wage to have a decent life and provide for your families. The days ahead will, however, demand better understanding and cooperation from all sides, because leadership will require that we take tough and hard decisions so that our people and all Nigerian workers can live more abundantly. Now he's saying he wants to reposition the country, and that will involve he taking tough decisions that will be to the benefit, at the end of the day, to the workers, where they can have decent lives.
As I say, you can't make omelette without breaking an egg. So workers tend to see the omelette without going to the kitchen. And that is in a subtle way what he's saying. He said, we will give you the what do you call it?
Living wage.
Living wage.
Yes.
But we have to live together and work together to get there.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. It's also a way of looking back at the manifesto.
He referred to that.
He referred to it. And it's giving a comprehensive view of labor, because sometimes we look at labor as though it's just about wages. It's about the whole gamut of society.
Yes.
Talk about the common enemies of ignorance, poverty, bigotry, fear, insecurity. Those are things that you have to handle in order for the worker to live in peace, work in peace, and earn in peace. So it's giving a comprehensive view of what to do later. And when it says tough decisions, there are so many things to decide. How much do we have? Where are the leakages? And so on and so forth. I can see him trying to use the Lagos model of trying to find out whether even the civil service is as big as we think it is.
Yeah.
To prune it and say, okay, Mr. John Doe, come and take your salary, but you don't see John Doe anymore. So you'll be collecting salaries for how long? That kind of thing. So I think it's the kind of thing he's talking about. Of course, the issue of subsidies looming, and the issue of oil theft is also there.
Yes.
There are other things to handle in order to keep the society going. So he's saying that this is not just about wages. It's about creating a better society.
Mike, what do you make of his statement?
No, of course. The point there is Nigerians would like to feel the hope that he has to bring. Now, there is a lot of expectations from his presidency, not because there's a new president coming to town, but because of the person he is, because of the pedigree.
Antecedent, yeah.
Yes, what he has to bring to the table. So Nigerians feel and see and understand that he has the magic wand, or he has a solution to a lot of the problems. And actually he does when it comes to understanding what the systems are. So at this time, it will also be to his interest to ensure that the average worker has a living wage, so that these issues of strike here, strike tomorrow, demonstrations will be things of the past, so that he can concentrate in the governance and all the responsibility of governance and moving the country forward. Now, the issue, in the last decade, it seems Nigeria has not been as prominent on the international scene as we used to be in the 90s. It is time again for Nigeria to come up to that level, because it benefits Nigeria domestically when Nigeria is a player at that point, because you're negotiating different things for the benefit of your country.
Yeah.
So the point there is that we've always been at home, handling domestic things, experimenting here and there. It's time to move up. So, and in moving up, you have to ensure that the home front is safe and is
begins
sane.
at home.
Exactly. It has to be safe and it has to be sane. The moment you create sanity at that level, then you can be free and you can have you can go to sleep with 2 eyes closed and wake up when you have to wake up for other things. So the workers, like Sam has said, there are so many things. It's not just about salaries. It's not just about salaries. We heard the NLC president say recently that government should prepare for 100,000 naira minimum wage.
Yes.
He made that statement. But the point, even if you look at it, 100,000 naira as minimum wage is not even enough for the average Nigerian.
With the rise in inflation.
That's the thing.
Yes.
So, but the issue there is that there has to be a balance somewhere. The issue of minimum wage is there. The issue of pensions and gratuity,
like the conversation we had yesterday.
Exactly, we had this conversation yesterday. The issue that there are so many civil servants who have retired 10 years ago, have never received one pension, have never received gratuity. So when you have a situation like that, those who are within the system now will feel that if that is where we are going, people who have retired 10 years ago have not gotten theirs, then why shouldn't we steal all that we can steal right now? So that we can, because there is no hope. There is no guarantee anywhere. So that is the challenge of the Nigerian system. There is no guarantee. That is what fuels corruption. Because you know that if you live here, if you don't fend for yourself, nobody's going to fend for you. So whatever you can grab now, grab right now, and then so that you can go. When you go, what you have, what you took is what you have. So the moment the government begins to wane Nigerians of that mentality by creating some of these structures and support a standard, and as the case may be, then it makes Nigerians feel that if I retire now, my pension and gratuity will come. So there's no need struggling for all of these things.
To grab
right? When they are even saying, okay, let us raise retirement age. What are you raising retirement? So if you remain in the system for this long, how about younger people who are supposed to come in, how are they supposed to grow? So all of these things are there. And the moment he has talked about hard decisions, we're looking forward to that hard decision, and they have to be taken right now. But the point there is that proper communication, bring everybody to the table.
Key.
Let us sit down and talk. Let us talk. Before you even go on strike, let us talk about this thing. It will help you better.
That was one of the advice President Buhari gave him as well, that he must work with Labour and ensure their rights of workers.
Yes. You have to work with Labour. The Buhari administration has a mixed record of working with Labour. But maybe he's aware of that. And so he's saying that his successor should work his Labour. He has, the president-elect, has had a history of working with Labour, even when he was governor, and even after he left government. He has had record of how to communicate, how to say the right thing to the right.
Pacify them.
It's just like when a child is crying, a little child is crying, somebody can come and say, ooh, 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 and the child will say, well, the child will still cry. Another person will say, ooh, ooh, and the child will not
smile.
say,